Hi guys, this is Leela. Welcome to my channel Leela WebDev. In this video, we will learn about one of the important concept in the Linux, that is about the permissions of the file. So for any file or the directory in the Linux, you will be having a permissions. So I will try to explain you about the permissions thing in this video. So for example, let's go here. So right now I am having two users in this Linux. So if you want to add users means, so you can go to something like in the settings. So here in the settings you can go and you can add the users. So here you will be able to have the users somewhere at the bottom. Yeah. So right now in this one we are having two users with the name Leela and also the test user. So up to now what we have tried to do is, so we are trying to work only in the test user. So right now I have created another user Leela and I have logged in into this current system. So if you want to create the new user means, so just first you need to unlock it, so that it will ask you to enter the password. So enter the password and then afterwards you can then afterwards you can add the user. So like this you can add the user. So this is how we can create a user. So right now after creating the user, if you try to see in our home page, so let's go to the home page, or otherwise you can check it something like who am I, and this is the current logged in user is Leela. And now here if I try to go to the cds ... and you will be able to see that there are two users in this one, that is Leela and also a test user. Okay. So right now we are in the, so if I try to do this one, so right now I am in ls-l. So right now I am in the Leela folder. So now if you try to see here, what I want to explain you is, so here this is the important thing, you need to understand it clearly, that whenever I try to do so here if I go here one step back, and here this is the home, and in this one we are able to have Leela and the test user. So I want to go to the test user, so just I will try to go to the test user. So now I am able to go to the test user. So what I will try to do is I will log in as a test user now. So if I try to switch the user, so let's try to switch the user, and then now here I am trying to switch the user. So let's go back. Yeah, I want to switch to the test 1234. So this is the user password, and if I go here, and this is our test user thing, and let's remove this one all. Yeah, and here this is the thing, and here you will be able to see Leela and test user. Now I want to go to the Leela. Now if I try to go to the Leela, now it is saying the something like permission is denied. So that means, whereas in the Leela user he can able to enter both into the Leela, that his home page, and also he can able to go into the test user also, whereas the test user cannot go into the Leela's profile. So why? Because permission is denied. So how can this permission is getting assigned? So this is one of the important concept you need to understand. So here if you try to see here for any variable, so ls-l, it will give you the complete details for this one. So if you try to see, I will go to the Leela terminal. Yeah, and I will go something like this, ls-l, okay, fine, cd tilt and cd ... and yeah, if I try to do ls-l, now you will be able to see some series of things. So here you will be able to see the first one. Here you will be able to see, right, the owner or the user. So normally we can see it as a user who has created this folder, so whom this folder belongs to. So then if it is in the navy blue color means it is a directory, you can understand it, and this is the user or the owner of the thing. So Leela is the user. Normally this second one is a group. So group means it will have a group of users, so who can have this access for this directory. So by default, if you doesn't have any group means when you first create it, so the group name also will be the username only, and afterwards we'll try to see how we can create the groups and all those things. We'll try and see it. And the permissions for this one, if you try to observe here, so this is some weird type of permissions you will be able to see, d or wx or -x and --. So this is the thing you will be able to see it. So this is one thing which you need to understand. So now here if you try to understand, so the first one is the d. So this one is called as a directory. Now if you go into the cd test user, or otherwise if I try to go into the home page and if I try to do ls-l, and here you will be able to see something like a D, right? The first letter or the first character, if you try to see, it is a D. D represents the directory. So that means this one is a directory. And here if you try to see file a underscore txt, it is an hyphen. Hyphen represents it's not a directory, it's a file. So like that you also have a something like L also. L means it's a symlink, and you'll be also having a C, that is a character special file. So like this, with different types of things will be there. If you go to the etc, or otherwise if you want to create an symlink means, then you will be able to get it. So this first one denotes the type of the file. Okay, it's a file type or the directory type. It's whether it is a directory or a file or a symlink, like that it will represent. And now you need to understand about these three things. So here you need to divide each one into 3 sets. Okay, so here totally you will be having something around 10 characters will be there. Out of this one, the first character you are able to understand it, and the remaining characters, so you need to understand it. Notepad, I will try to open this one in the notepad. If you try to see here, so you will be able to see RWX, and this one you need to, and here R-X, and here you can see something like -X or something like this. So these are the things. And here the first 3 characters or the first 3 letters denotes the permissions for the user. User means nothing but the owner. So you can say, you can tell it as an owner. Okay. And the second one, if you try to see, it denotes the permissions for the group. Okay. So group. So the group, to which group that either the directory or the file belongs to. And this one belongs to the others or the world. So something we will say it as a world. So that means others, so outside people, how many permissions they are having. So like this, in the Linux, the permissions will be divided to each directory or the file or anything. So here, if you try to understand, if you hear, you will be able to understand. So read, write and execute. So this one is having read, write and execute. And this one is having R-X. So that means it has, the group has only read permission, and there is no write permission, and there is an execute permission, and read-X. So like this. So this is how you will be able to see this one. For example, let's say that, so right now I am not able to access this one, right? So if I try to go to the ls, so here who am I? So let's try to check it. So I am a test user, right? If I try to go to the Leela, so permission is denied. So let's try to go back to the Leela user. Okay, switch the user. So we will go back to the, I will try to show you. So switch the user. So let it switch. So I came back to this one. So here we are in the test user. So here which I am, who am I? So this one is Leela. So this time this is not, this one is not test user. Who am I? So now I went into the test user. So here how I am able to enter into the test user is, so here if you try to see, if I try to see this one, ls-l. So now the test user directories and all those things, outside people has a read permission and also an execute permission. So execute permission for this directory means, so that means if you have execute permission, then only you can enter into the directory. Now I will go into this cd test user. Okay, sorry, cd test user. So let's say that ls-l. Now if you try to see, for example, let's say that this is the file a_txt. So now the other people, so right now the user is Leela. So right now I am accessing it as in Leela, and this file belongs to user test user, and it belongs to a group test user. So none of the user and group doesn't belongs to me. So now there is a read permission for this one, other people. So if I try to do cat file_a.txt means, so now there is nothing content available in this one. So I am able to read that file. Okay. So but if I want to execute that file, so that means I want to write that file. File_a.txt. So here you will be able to see file_a.txt is an unwritable. So that means I cannot able to write this file, but I can able to read this file. So that is one thing you need to understand. So that is the meaning of this one. So what is this one? So here the read -- means I can able to do it. So now if you are having execute permissions and all those things means you can. So now for example snap, the snap is a directory, right? So here you don't have any permission to read, write, execute. But if I try to enter into the cd snap means, so it will tell you that permission is denied. So why? Because I am not able to access it. So these are the different types of permissions you will be having in the Linux. So this is a brief introduction about the permissions and all those things. In the next video, what we will try to do is we will try to see how we can edit these permissions or how we can update these permissions and all those things for a file. I will try to explain you. So using the chmod. So that is one thing. So I am giving you a brief overview of this one. So read, write, execute. So these are the things you will try to see one by one. So how we can able to access it. Hope you understood about these permissions of the files and the directories in the Linux. If you have any doubts or any suggestions, please post the comments below to this video. And if you like this video, please do support me by subscribing to my channel. Thank you.